Hey, look, we have a gospel singer up next, brother.
Come on and sing for the Lord.
I heard his name was Ernest, but he told me they call him Pastor Fisher. Okay, so we'll do Pastor Fisher, sir. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, here with a little gospel for us, the fabulous Pastor Fisher. Coming all the way live from Atlanta. I've been pushed. Oh, there he is. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
He look like T-Pain a little bit. He look like T-Pain a little bit.
Hey.
Hello,
doing,
hello.
sir?
I'm just fine. How you doing, Mr. Collier?
Excellent, excellent. Did you meet Mr. Cleveland?
And Cletus,
I'm celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
Hey, we just need you to focus on this show, Pastor. You out there watching Spanish. That's pastors for you. They can't even concentrate on what they're supposed to do. Know your assignment, Pastor.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you for checking me.
Wow. So, Pastor, what's your...
I don't even know why Michael cut himself off. What's the name of your church, Pastor?
The streets. I'm an outreach minister. I preach out in the streets. I minister to the streets. Drug addicts, alcoholics.
Don't go any further. Time out. Don't go any further. I'd like to talk about that for a second. I can't pull up to the corner without a guy with a sign that's bigger than Jesus,
right?
And shouting, "Jesus,
that ain't me."
Oh, that's not you. Okay, but I want to ask you, what is your feel on that? Do you feel that those guys actually bring souls in? Or do they repel them? Because I look at that and I be like, if that's who I got to be with in heaven, I'm going over, go and check into hell right now. You know. So how do you feel about those folks with the loud?
I feel
Jesus loves you, and you better come to Jesus, or you're gonna burn. What do you?
I feel that God can reach anybody and use anybody. Whether they're smart, whether they're outrageous, whether they're whatever level they own, if somebody's out there that will listen to them.
Really?
And so yes, I believe that. I believe that somebody will listen to them because God is coming from. We talk about the devil and all the stuff that he's doing, but wait a minute, God created the devil and everything else. So I mean, he can reach further. But out and somebody will hear them no matter who they are. Somebody will hear them. I may not hear them, you may not listen to them, but somebody will.
It makes it feel to me like God is pandering. You have to get the guy who looked like he'd been hit by a bus to stand on the corner with a sign and yell at people to get people in. I don't think Jesus meant it that way. I don't think the Lord meant scare them to me. You know, you come, you gonna burn fire, hellfire, and brimstone. I don't think the Lord meant that. You know. Go ahead, Cletus. I look like
Jesus is. I like to call him the Big J. He didn't even really hit you.
Y'all roll like that.
Yeah, that's how That's how I like my Jesus. You know, I don't. You know, I don't make my Jesus spooky like some people. I just, we have a relationship.
Jesus
like,
bougie.
I'd be like, Big J, what's good, man? We got cheese and crackers in here. So, I think that we should really learn from how he did ministry, man. He didn't really go around being boastful, proud, or whatever. He just went places, made himself comfortable with the people, talked to them, and from that, he was able to reach more people because they felt like he was one of them. And he really understood. I think that what we fail to do, man, is that some of us make ourselves holier than God is. And when we do that, man, we miss the whole effort. Now, Pastor Fisher, you seem like the kind of guy, man. And I ain't never met you. I know you got the Teddy Payne look on, man. You was in love with a stripper. And so that's Mary Magdalene. That's the Mary Magdalene thing. No, but you seem like right. I don't see you yelling and screaming, man, but I see you being more of an in touch kind of guy, man. So when you say you do the streets, you go out, pray with people in the streets and just kind of make them feel comfortable. Is that what you do?
Well, see, my life, I was one of those people that you're talking about. I'm talking about strung out on drugs and alcohol and was out in the street. I was homeless. I ate out of trash cans. I was one of those people. So, I mean, I could understand, from both sides. And if you think about it, something you all said about yelling, preachers yelling and stuff like that. Think about the preachers that Mr. Carl, you talked about the 60s. Think about the Baptist churches we came up in, and it wasn't nothing but fire and brimstone preachers back then. So I mean, even then, that seed is still planted in us, even though we evolved and we're where we're at right now, to where now everybody today have a personal relationship with God. So
Yeah.
God met you where you was at. He'll meet them people where they at. He met me where I was at. And that's what Jesus did. When you talked about Jesus, Mr. Cletus, that's what Jesus did. Jesus met people where they were at.
Where they were at.
And
Exactly.
you don't have to call me Mr. Mr. Cletus is my
Okay.
dad.
Okay.
Well, people on here have seen you in the street actually ministering to people. So they've
Okay.
seen you on the TikTok out ministering to people. So I give you some pride, some love, man, because I appreciate that.
Thank
that
you.
You're actually doing the work. That ain't the same thing as these as these people who stand on the corner screaming at the top of their lungs. That's not the same thing.
I hear you.
I don't think the Lord really wants to be represented that way, you know? And so maybe you do catch 1 or 2 people, but you scare 100 or 130 people. And you say that's...
But those 130 people go out and meet people like me, meet people like you, meet other preachers. If you remember, Jesus went after the one. Remember, the Bible talked about the 99. I'm not going to preach a sermon now, but the Bible talked about leaving the 99 and
go ahead.
And going to the one. And so that's what I'm talking about. I believe that God will allow an entire life to be born and to live X amount of years only for one person, if that's his will. And it's not about what I think, about what you think. I mean, we all have our perspectives and our opinions on but we either way it go, I think God is radical. Jesus is radical about what he's going out to do. And since he's the creator and the author of everything, he knows everything. So he cares about those people that are out there hollering and crying. He cares about the atheists and the ones who don't believe in him. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
I know he cares about them. I'm just saying I don't care about them. Why are they on the corner? Why are they out there yelling at people? Stop it!
Michael don't care. We talking about God. We talking about Michael.
When they come to the door knocking with the Jehovah's Witnesses and they be knocking, I always come to the door butt naked. I say, hey,
oh Lord,
come on in here, let's fellowship. And they run down the street. I don't know what that's about.
Do they want me as I am? That's all I'm saying. You remind me of myself, Michael. Whenever I get naked, I open all the windows and doors of my house. And here's the thing. It's your fault for looking in my house. You understand what I'm saying? I'm in my own abode.
All right, let me just play with you, Pastor. I brought you on here to sing a gospel song, and we're going to get out the way and let you do it, brother.
Okay, can I tell you a little bit about it?
Please do.
Okay, well, this song is the most recent song that I've done. I did this song with B.B. King's baby daughter. Her name is Claudette King. Okay. And so when you go on social media, you'll see us doing it as a duet. But I wrote this song. This song is called "They Talked About Jesus." It's interesting, the subject that we just talked about, because the name of the song is called "They Talked About Jesus," and the view that I get from this song is, the message I give to this song is that, you know, they talked about, if you ain't doing nothing, people ain't talking about you. So whether you're doing something good or bad in life, you want people to talk about you, you know, and because if you ain't doing nothing, people ain't talking about you, so you ain't no news at all, you know. So if they talked about Jesus, they're gonna surely talk about me, and they're gonna talk about you. So get over it, you know, because that's just the way it is. I want them talking about me, good or bad, it don't matter, because they're gonna talk about you anyway. So might as well just go ahead and accept it, because that's free publicity right there in itself. So anyway,
I love it.
So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. You tell me if the music is, everything is right here. I usually have my 16-year-old son doing this, but he's in school. So how that sound?
That level's good. Maybe just a little bit higher. Right there.
They talked about Jesus. They talked about Jesus. Yes, they did. Yeah. They talked about my Jesus. Yeah. And the only time I should worry, the only time I'm gonna worry, the only time I should worry is when they stop talking about me. Yeah. Check this out. Jesus heals the sick. Yes, you did. And you raised the dead. He gave sight to the blind, and they followed right behind. But when it came time for him to die, nobody could be found. They talked about him so bad, and nobody was around. I said that they talked about him so bad, and nobody was around. Now, the only time I should worry is when they stop talking about me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Y'all got it now? Tell me to sing it now. Come on. They talked about Jesus. They talked about Jesus. Yes, they did. They talked about my Jesus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And only time I should worry. The only time I'm gonna worry. Only time I will worry is when they stop talking about me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got another verse I want to sing. Check this out. Jesus healed the sick. Yes, he did. And he raised the dead. He gave sight to the blind, and they followed right behind. But when it came time for him to die, nobody could be found. They talked about him so bad, and nobody was around. I said that. They talked about him so bad, and nobody was around. Now, the only time I should worry is when they stop talking about me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, one more time, everybody. They talked about Jesus. Yes, they did. Now, they talked about Jesus. Yes, they did. They talked about my Jesus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And only time I should worry. Only time I'm gonna worry. Only time I should worry is when they stop talking about me. Now this is something I want to tell y'all. This is what they talked about when they talked about me. They talked about my mother, talked about my father, talked about my sister, talked about my brother, talked about my friends. Yes, they did. They talked about my nose, talked about my clothes, talked about my head, my skin, and legs, oh my, oh me. Now I see just how mean people can be, don't you agree? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They talked about Jesus. Yeah, yeah. They're gonna talk about you. Just let them talk. Just let them talk. They're gonna talk about you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If they talk about Jesus, they're gonna talk about you. Yeah.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Y'all better give it up for Pastor Ernest Fisher in the house. Thank you, man. Okay, I appreciate that. Was purely a gospel song. You ain't never lied about that one.
Mr. Colyar.
I'm just Michael. Yes, sir.
Okay, one word, Michael. My beautiful wife right here. She just want to stick her head in and say hi.
Where's she at?
Right here. Come on here. My friend
Hey,
and my
hi,
wife. Come on over here. Hurry up. They on the time frame. Come on here. Say hi.
Hi. How you doing?
My best friend and my wife, Pamela Fisher.
I love that. That's the only way it works is when they're your best friend. Hey,
Yes.
Miss Fisher. Pleasure to meet you. And thank you. Oh, God bless her.
Right.
She got to put up with your hey, brother, thank you for being on this morning. Tell people how they can find you.
www.pastorfisher.net. I'm on all social medias, YouTube, Pastor Fisher, Facebook, Pastor Fisher, IG is Pastor Fisher, I am. Everywhere, Twitter, Pastor Fisher, it's all over the place, but it's Pastor Fisher, one word. Don't put that little space between Pastor and Fisher, because you're going to get somebody else. So it's Pastor Fisher, one word. The P is capital and the F is capital. That's how you'll find me.
All right, King. Leave us with a woo, woo, woo.
Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you, y'all. Give it up for Pastor Fisher in the house. Woo, woo,
Thank
woo,
you.
woo, woo. Hey, thank you, brother, for being here on the Michael Colyar Morning Show this morning. Pastor Fisher, y'all. Singing. That's called singing.